Hey everyone, I just have a quick tip today for you. This is one of my favorite techniques with the Helix software, and it's very versatile. You can use it in a lot of different ways to get a lot of different sounds. And this is just blending a drive-through path with your amp tone in the Helix. And for obvious reasons, this is a great idea to do it with the bass, as that's nothing new there. And you can check out the walkthrough I did of this preset 2 or 3 weeks ago. I'll leave it up there. And with the concept here with doing a drive-through tone with your bass, I won't go into too much detail. It's just that you've got your effects and you've got your dry tone of the bass. That's actually providing the foundation and fulfilling the role in the band that you need to be as a bassist. If you want to add extra effects on top, that's cool, but you still need to be a bassist primarily, right? So it makes sense to run it right and left. So you've got your wet effects giving you that texture that you need, and then the actual foundation of your instrument, the thing that sounds like a bass. Now, going to the guitar, there's a lot of cool things we can do with a drive-through path. One of them is when you're trying to seek out a great clean tone in the Helix. Sometimes I have people write to me asking what would be my suggestion for trying to find or coerce a great jazz tone out of the Helix. It's totally possible, and this is one trick that I use here. So you can see the drive-through path there. I'll get there in a second. Straight off the bat, I warm up the tone a little bit with the input impedance, set that down a little bit, and then I've got a slight compressor at the beginning. When you're going for a jazz tone, you play a little bit lighter with your pick, and then this compressor is going to bring that up to volume now. And then we've got the split path here. So in the A path, I've got the amp and cabinet, it's the jazz chorus, and then in the B path, I've got a minotaur that I can, this is the Klon style pedal that I can turn on and off with foot switch 2, and it runs into a cab. Then we blend it back down. You can adjust like how much you're getting of each path here with the mix levels. Finally goes into a reverb, and then finally another very slight compressor at the end of the chain. And this is what this jazz preset sounds like. If I want a little bit more grit, I can turn on the minotaur in the B path there with foot switch 2. So to sum that up, the first way you can use the drive-through is when you're trying to create a very pristine, clean tone. You can feed the drive-through just into a cabinet here, so it still sounds like a guitar, and then mix that back in. Alright, and then let's see, the second way we can do that is totally the opposite. We can mix a completely overdriven tone with a clean tone, and this is kind of the way that the famous Dumble overdrive special amp works. It's got 2 channels in it. So it's got a clean channel and an overdriven channel. That clean channel is actually fed into the overdriven channel, and then they can be run in parallel as well. And that's kind of where it gets that famous sound. You can have like a really overdriven signal but still retain clarity for chords here. I just finished a preset recently, which you'll see up on my site, so I've turned it on now so that we've got a really high gain setting. So plenty of overdrive in that path, in that patch, but not enough that it's totally overwhelming. You can still get a lot of clarity out of it. The way this whole preset works is that the blank slate here is a reasonably overdriven tone, so there's no foot switches on, and we've got all the paths just coming through A here. When I hit foot switch 1, it's gonna, I made it bypass here so that we get a color with the foot switch ring on the HX Stomp, but it's also going to send some in through this B path, so we've got about 50-50 going there with overdrive and that, and I'm also changing some parameters in the amp block to adjust for the new sound here. And it's all just working together basically so that you get a very overdriven tone but still plenty of clarity. Like I said, you can play chords, dense chords with it, stuff with close intervals where it's not totally ridiculous and you can't tell what the tonality is. The third way I would say third, second, I don't know what I'm on now. The other way is in something called parallel compression. And to go with this, in the same amp pack, I created a preset, two presets, one for single coils, one for humbuckers, that kind of emulates the parallel compression and the clean overdrive phrase that people know the steel string singer, the Dumble amp, as. So this B path here is running through a Klon style pedal, and then we've got a compressor in front of the amp. So straight up, it's the bass tone of this preset is the Minotaur and the Litigator amp head going into the cabinet. Now we can boost the overdrive with foot switch 2, so we get a more overdriven tone, but the main thing here is when we turn on the compressor, and it works in the same way the mix here does, we've got a very compressed signal. You can see a 30-to-1 ratio here. And to make up for the fact so that we hopefully don't have any feedback and stuff, we've got the compressed signal going into the amp head, but we've also got a drive-through block happening here with the Minotaur. And this would be great for slide if I can pull one out. So you've got that really smooth singing tone without any overdrive in it. With the pick and fingers, it sounds good too. So in the same way with that first jazz preset, we've now got some compression happening here in parallel with the overdrive tone. So I hope this video was helpful to you. Stay tuned to the channel for more presets and helpful Helix tips. I've got a preset playlist in the description, a bunch of walkthroughs and tone building exercises and tips to check out. And then I've also got some Helix presets that I've just released on my website here. You can see the Dumble amp tone pack. There's 4 presets in this one. There's 4 presets in an amp pack made to emulate the famous Tweed 5E3, and then one for the Lone Star amp as well, the Mesa Boogie one. So a lot of stuff, and the complete Helix preset library sampler. As always, there's like 50 presets in that. Thank you guys for watching. Share with a friend if you think it's helpful to someone else, and stay tuned for more stuff from me. Thanks for watching.